All right, YouTube, this is 2 Cent back again with my 2 cents on Octopath Traveler, and we're in for another doozy today because it seems like every time we get a new step-up banner, we got to bring some drama along with it. So I think today I'm not going to give quite my opinion on exactly what, which side of this I want to take. I think really I just kind of want to lay the information out and leave you guys with the question of what you think about it that you can answer down in the comment section for me. Let's just get into it. All right, so when we look here, we see we got our step up here, which honestly, to just start this out, I didn't even know that a step up was coming for this unit because we don't often get step up banners for brand new units. Typically we get like 2 old units that are getting put onto a step up, but here we have a step up that's just for Cardona, and the first step, we're kind of used to it being 150, and here it's costing 200 rubies. And then the second step is 250, step 3 250, and then we're back to our normal 300s here. And I think this, really just kind of threw people for a loop just because it's a little bit different, and it seems like they're just trying to add just a little bit more, rubies, just tack a little bit more on there. And I think that's where a lot of people looking at this, became very kind of agitated by it because, we've already had a history of these step-up banners being problematic. If you remember way back on the very first one with Sophia on there, we had some bad language about this guaranteed 5-star traveler. We thought, okay, maybe it's the one of the rate up ones is guaranteed to come. Well, come to find out that it was just kind of mistranslated, and it's really just any of the general pool 5-star travelers that can show up. And so we kind of had to deal with that. And then we all know what happened with the Dell, banner. And then here we are with this one here. So we just have a little bit of a track record of having some issues with these step-up banners. And so I really don't blame people from looking at this and saying, hey, what's up with this price increase? It feels like this is something new. Why did we go up? Normally we're supposed to get better deals or at least be consistent with it. So what's going on here? All right, so first let's just take a little bit more of a look at our step-up banners that we've had. So I just pulled a couple examples of the Gilderoy and Viola one, and then I have with the Scarecrow step-up banner as well. And when you're looking at these, yeah, they start out the 150, then the 200 and 250. So really, the only real difference between this one and the one that we got yesterday with Cardona is 100 rubies difference. And 100 rubies does mean something, they're not easy to get, but I also want to kind of set, the kind of stakes that we're having in this discussion of whether or not this is super bad or, just okay, banner that they've put out, that we are really just dealing with 100 ruby difference here. Granted, if you're doing, multiple steps, then obviously you can add more rubies to that. But if you're going through the one, the first step on it, as a side thought, we can I've never done these step-ups all the way through. Can you do these ones more than once? I don't even know. I think you can only do them once, so 100 rubies, right? Okay, so, well, maybe the difference is just that this is a new unit versus old ones or standard banner units. Well, that would be the case up until we got Steed and Loomis, and we got a step-up banner for both of them as 2 new units, and we still had the kind of price reduction on them, which, was nice just because it was leading right up into the collab, and so maybe they just figured, hey, let's make this one a little bit less for people as we're going into a collab, kind of time. That way people didn't, felt like they could at least spend a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if this was supposed to be kind of setting a precedent or not for new units and having step-ups, because we only had one of them, kind of have that for us. And so one of the things I kind of found also when I was kind of investigating this, kind of reading the forums on either Reddit or Twitter, or just the Discords in general, that these banners, these typical banners like this, the Cardona one, for new units that have step-ups, those step-ups in JP were typically for paid rubies and not for free rubies. So it seems that we're kind of, for the Octopath Global team, they're almost kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't. So if they assume that a player has, knows what happened on the JP server, knows what the banners were like, knows what the collabs were like, if they assume that, and then they change things accordingly to the global side of things, then you might get like a banner like we got with Cardona. Hey, you know what? On JP, this was paid rubies. We've made them free rubies for you guys. Hey, isn't that a little bit of a deal? You know, and that kind of way of thinking for them might say, hey, you know, maybe they'll be happy with us. Maybe the community will be excited about this change. The the other way that they could think about it, you know, the kind of damned if they do or if they don't, is if they don't assume that you as a player on the global know what's going on the global side, then you run into things like maybe part of the community is on this banner where they say, hey, you know what? Previously, we had this discount at 150 and 200, and now all of a sudden we have a step-up banner where it's changed, it's different, it's more. And they don't understand, well, why is it more for this one than it was the previous ones? And then you worry, is this going to set the precedent going forward that all of our step-ups are going to be worse than the ones we had before? And now we're actually, you know, like getting some units that aren't just the standard banner units from before. So I can see where they're going to have a lot of like kind of pushing back and you know, back and forth about this, trying to figure out, okay, do we try to make you know, make things better from the JP aspect of it, but risk people not understanding that it's better on this side of things? Or do we just try to change things to make them kind of global exclusive, and then every time you run into something that isn't exactly the same as it was on JP, we have to run into an issue of people comparing and stuff like that? It's kind of like folks were comparing the leading up rewards for the rubies for the collab, when really that was for anniversary rewards for them, a half anniversary rewards. And so people were comparing, hey, we're not getting this for the collab, but JP did. Well, that was a problem too, because those were really half anniversary rewards, and we're not at the half anniversary yet. We're getting things earlier. So I think we just are always going to be in kind of this jumbled mess where people kind of look at what comes out and say, okay, how do I feel like this might be adverse to what I'm thinking about the game, or how does this prove that the devs aren't handling the game well? And I think that's a dangerous kind of mindset for folks to be in, because I think that's just going to breed more and more kind of animosity and more kind of negative posting and stuff like that. And by all means, you know, Square could deserve a good portion of that, because I don't think there's a single player out there that doesn't believe that Square doesn't have the money to make things a little bit cheaper. It's just how much cheaper and keep, you know, everything running. Who knows? We don't get to see all those kind of numbers and spreadsheets, and you know, we're always going to have that kind of struggle of wanting as a consumer to be able to get more, but also wanting the product that we're consuming to not go away because we got too much. So I don't know. I just really was kind of wanting to put this out there. I was going to just kind of ignore it, but I'm starting to see it more and more, and people asking me specifically my kind of thoughts on it. So I'm just going to leave you guys with a video here at the end. Basically, I did a couple polls on the banner like I normally do for step-ups. And yeah, you can watch that if you want. And that's been my 2 cents.